Alderman Sizmarsky. Here. Alderman Woods.
Here.
Alderman Roy Wesley.
Here.
Alderman Eugene Wesley. Alderman Sorrentino.
Here.
Alderman Messina.
Here.
Alderman Catalano.
Here.
Alderman Jacob.
Here.
I declare a quorum. I'm going to make a motion to approve the minutes of Planning and Zoning Building Committee, regular meeting, January 14, 2016.
Second.
Any corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is a report and recommendation of plumbing code amendment. Director Cage, want to give us a brief overview?
Yes, thank you. Essentially, this is something that's being mandated by the state of Illinois, IDNR and IDPH, requiring the adoption of the specific regulations before you in the packet. There's a number of items in there. I can run through it if there are any particular questions, but really, to sum it up very briefly is there's a number of amendments that we want to be consistent with the state. They're mandating it, allowable materials, size of service pipe, depth of pipe, those kind of things. So we're trying to do the right thing and be consistent with them. We've put a proposal into them, they've reviewed it, and they're okay with it. That's really it, unless anyone has any questions.
So it's a mandatory? This is mandatory from the state.
Mandatory, yes,
Right.
correct.
Any questions? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
I want to make a motion. Against?
We really don't have a choice, do we?
Right. Motion carries.
I have one question. Any of these plumbing,
Go ahead.
any of these plumbing amendments, there's some residents out there that are getting fines that are calling me. They're being fined. Does that have to do with the ordinance change at all, or
Not with this change, no.
what are the fines that are we handing out? I mean,
I can.
other than the illegal hook up to the sanitary?
Right. If you've got some specific, I can get you the information on that if you've got
Yeah,
some
I got it,
specific
okay.
addresses.
All right,
I don't believe it's tied to this. I think it's something separate.
all right.
Okay. Next is items to consider for future meetings. We have the UDO tax amendment, which is coming up, tax amendment, excuse me, which is coming up February. Next is annexation of the areas of A through M. That's to be determined. And next is additional wayfinding signs, and that's to be determined. Any other items to consider? Alderman R. Wesley?
Ed, did you get a update yet on the clock tower? And when are we gonna get some prices from, if you did?
Go ahead.
I just got a text from Ron Kroll, who's kind of heading it up literally about 15 minutes ago, asking if he could talk tomorrow afternoon. So I should have an update tomorrow when I talk to him, since he's heading it up.
Okay.
Mayor Nuncio?
Last week, we received the project status update, and we do have the wayfinding signs on there. And staff was awaiting feedback on those signs. Now, I heard a lot of, didn't like the color, the brown. I personally didn't even like the brown myself. I know I talked to one or two aldermen, talked about possibly black or something. We need to make some type of decision here so we can order these signs. I mean, we've approved them, we put them out for bid, they're ready to go, but we're all over the board. So we need to discuss this. When are we gonna do it? Or we're just gonna order what we saw? And that brown, when you put that pedestal, that brown pedestal out there, it's,
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's been hard to get complete consensus on that.
right.
Ed and I will talk tomorrow and come up with a game plan to get the final order in with complete consensus.
Hold on. Go ahead, Mayor.
Right, and again, this goes back to last week when we were talking about criteria. Somebody likes that brown, somebody doesn't like the brown. You know, we have to come to some consensus and majority will rule, but the brown we saw in the pictures when we first ordered them was a beautiful, basically they look like these chairs, a little redder than these chairs, but what we actually got was, I don't know, something very dull.
Alderman Wesley?
This was a streetscape committee thing, correct?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
are you asking for the council to come up with the final decision on blue, black or brown, or if that's the case?
That's not true.
Go ahead, Mayor.
What are you asking them?
Basically, we sat here and picked the one we wanted and the colors we wanted, and everybody voted, the majority, I think it was like a 6-2 or 7-1 vote, that reddish brown looking sign. Now, if you guys, everybody like that brown and that dark gray, okay, let's get those signs going and let's get them up. But I didn't hear that everybody was all excited about the brown.
Right.
So, now it's up to us to pick the color,
Okay.
not streetscape.
So what is staff gonna do? Come back with
Well, that's why
them again and?
that's why I'm asking to bring this up and
Mr. Cage,
how
go
we,
ahead.
what are we doing here?
Roy's
Well,
shirt.
I kind
my
of got the
color.
sense, and it would be helpful this evening, it seemed that
It's
the
not on the
gray,
agenda.
sorry.
Okay.
I had the sense that the gray was acceptable, there wasn't any concerns with the gray, so it would help if we just focus on what the issue, I think, and I believe was, which was the brown color on the base. Is that true?
Go ahead, Mayor.
And that's why I'm bringing it up for a future meeting or something, so you guys, we accepted a bid, but the signs aren't, right, they're not ordered yet.
No, they're not.
Okay, so, I'd like to see this move forward and, instead of us dragging our feet, that's all.
Alderman Woods?
Yes,
I,
go ahead.
I thought we were moving forward. I thought they were ordered. So, had I known we're still debating the color,
Mr. Murmas?
I would have pushed the debate a little more. I know that we've discussed the brown or black, and when you put it in context with all the other things that we're doing, it only made more sense to go to the black as opposed to the brown with the light poles and the basin, all the other things that we approved already. So, shame on me, I thought we were moving forward. I would have pushed it a little more. So, what is it that we need to do?
Mr. Murmas?
Obviously, we're not gonna solve this right now. It's not on the agenda. I'm confident we can get an order in within the next week. It's just, it's been hard getting everybody's feedback.
I mean, we had the sign in the back, we asked for comment. If nobody commented, well, what are we gonna do? Wait until somebody calls? That's where I was kinda lost.
Again, it's not on the agenda.
Okay. So, go ahead. One more question on that?
Yeah, why don't we just bring it to council next week and,
Yeah, bring it to the council next week.
and just, let's get it, and then you could order right after council. Anyone,
That's good too?
anyone object to that?
Mr. Murmas?
That's fine.
Okay.
You gotta order.
Alderman Sisamovsky?
Jeff, is there a way you can get like a swatch of the color? Just double check
Yeah.
before council,
He's
make
asking.
sure that's the right color we picked, or,
We have that already, I think. Yeah.
I understand, but maybe they said the wrong color, who knows? I don't know. They said the right color.
Go ahead. Alderman
Yeah.
Messina?
Yeah, I echo Mike's sentiment. I'd like to see the swatch, and I know you guys had the sign out, but if that's not it, do we have any other colors that you guys have available where we could look before the meeting and then make a decision at the meeting?
Okay. So now I want to make a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Oh, I need a second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the Public Health, Safety, and Judiciary Committee called order. Move a roll call, everybody's the same, so the minute taker could just take that accordingly, please. I'd like the approval of the minutes. Public Safety, Public Health, Safety, and Judiciary Committee, the regular meeting of January 14th, 2016 at 7:30 PM. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, approved. Report and recommendation, I have an ordinance amending the city code section 15-2004 regarding the stop sign at the intersection of Roy Drive and Robin Lane. Need a motion?
Second.
Alderman Wesley?
Where's the stop sign going? It says intersection. Is it going on Roy or is it going on Robin?
It would be going, sorry, it would be going eastbound Roy at Robin. Robin's the main thoroughfare, so we wouldn't put the stop sign there. It would be on this side street.
And has there been a traffic study done over there and concerns or anything?
Yeah, I apologize. One thing, this did come up through resident concerns over there, and Public Works had worked on cutting back some trees over there in the late fall, and the request was to review putting a stop sign instead of a yield sign there. And I apologize, when I was typing my memo, I did have some indications of the traffic study we did over there, and somehow I didn't get it in the final version, but there's about 40 to 50 cars a day that travel at that intersection, coming off of Roy to Robin, and it fits with the policy that we passed last fall for installing stop signs throughout town, so.
Okay.
Alderman Jacob?
Just a quick question. On the sheet here that says where all the stop signs are, it keeps saying Irving Park Boulevard. Isn't that technically Irving Park Road? I happened to notice it. I was like, why does it keep saying Irving Park Boulevard? I don't know if that's something that needs to be changed or.
I'll take a look at that and I can put it in the final version, so.
Alderman Sismarski?
Chief, we don't have to amend this. Don't you have the authority if it's convened by yourself or traffic study?
Chief?
No, what we have to do is we have to actually codify it, because then if there is any enforcement, if it's not in the code, we can't enforce the stop sign over there. We can do a temporary one for a few months like we did on Center and Grove under the city manager's direction, but then we did end up bringing that to full council for codification, so.
And all the ones on Elmhurst were all amended there too, or do you guys just change them over?
No, actually, I don't know how long ago, but at some point, some yield signs were put in there when it called for stop signs. So we went through with Public Works and made sure whatever was in code was up at those intersections.
All right, thank you.
Alderman Wesley?
Chief, what was that? Maybe a year ago I asked about going through all the stop signs and making sure that they were on the ordinance. We did completed that, right? Because officially, you can't write a ticket for blowing a stop sign unless it's passed by a village ordinance.
That's correct. We did look through that. Actually, this one, there's a yield sign, but it was not in code as a yield sign. Typically, you're not going to have any, if someone comes off a yield intersection and would hit someone, they could still receive a citation for failure to yield, turning right or turning left or whatever the case is. So I don't know if this one was put up when the subdivision was built, but it's been there for a very long time. And so we did clean up and make sure that the stop signs were correct. The next project's going to have to be is go check the yield signs and see if those are correct too, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions? Need a motion?
I'll make that
Have a
motion.
motion, right?
You already have the motion?
And a second.
And a second.
All in favor?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Items to be considered at future meetings. We have the revisions to the false alarm ordinance scheduled sometime for February or March. If there's no more questions, go for the adjournment. All in favor, motion for
You
adjournment?
have to make a motion.
I'll make a motion for.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.
I'd like to call the Public Works Committee to order. Let the minute taker reflect that all the same members are present. First is approval of the minutes of the meeting, regular meeting, January 14th, 2016. That is my motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Bye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Next, report and recommendation, approval of contract with Robinson Engineering for pretreatment program engineering services for the 2016 calendar year, an amount not to exceed $95,100. That is my motion.
Second.
Questions? Roll call?
Alderman Sismarski?
Yes.
Alderman Woods?
Yes.
Alderman Roy Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino?
Yes.
Alderman Messina?
Yes.
Alderman Catalano?
Yes.
Alderman Jacob?
Yes.
That passes. Next, approval of a contract with CMI and Godding Electric for the relocation of the HSI blower to the South Wastewater Treatment Plant in an amount not to exceed $49,827. That is my motion.
Second.
Questions? Alderman Eugene Wesley.
Thank you.
Or, I'm sorry.
Yikes.
Alderman Roy Wesley.
Where's this company out of?
Mr. York.
CMI is out of Dunlap, Illinois. They were the company that did the work at the treatment plant. So we did get 3 quotes from other companies that are localer than that, and they were quite a bit more expensive.
Okay. Nope, thank you.
Localer.
Any other-
Not as local.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Alderman Sizmarsky,
Yes.
Alderman Woods,
Yes.
Alderman Roy Wesley,
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino,
Yes.
Alderman Messina,
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
That passes. Next is approval of change order number 1 for Central Avenue Sanitary Sewer Project in an amount not to exceed $6,412.15. That is my motion.
Second.
Questions? No questions? Roll call.
Alderman Sizmarsky,
Yes.
Alderman Woods,
Yes.
Alderman Roy Wesley,
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino,
Yes.
Alderman Messina,
Yes.
Alderman Catalano,
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
That passes. Next, request for guidance regarding electronic cycling within the city of Wooddale. Mr. York, you're going to give us some information?
Yeah, we've been asked to take a look at reestablishing the recycling program that has been on hiatus for the last couple of years. If you, we can go, I have a presentation, if you guys want to go through the presentation, or we can just go through the,
Yeah,
okay?
that's,
If Mr. Case would oblige with turning on the projector. I can just do this. And if I turn it on, hey, look at that, technology. All right, so basically what had happened was when the North Wastewater Treatment Plant went under construction, we decided, or it was decided then that to stop the electronic recycling program. We had some problems with not, or with having electronics recycling at the North Wastewater Treatment Plant. We had illegal dumping, people that were going into and taking pieces, parts of the electronics away. And it was behind the gate, so the gate plant wasn't secure when it was open for the public. Since it's been discontinued, we decided to go back and kind of start from scratch and look at different options and going through a new program for the city. So kind of bounce into those real quick. Option 1, Village of Addison. Village of Addison had always had a recycling program, and about a year ago, or excuse me, in October, I believe, they decided to stop allowing non-Addison people to come and drop off recycling, which made myself sad because I would always stop there on the way home from work or on the way to work and drop my stuff off. But they have said that they would be excited to become partners with us, but with that comes a cost. That cost would be about $15,000.
Did I read this right, that is it 5,000 for administrative costs of that 15?
That's what they're stating.
To what, fill out paperwork?
Whatever they need to do. I mean, Mr. Murmas had conversation with them.
Yeah.
As I'm sure you've read in the paper almost every other day, there's a story about a municipality discontinuing its electronic recycling program because logistically, it's a huge headache. So I'm assuming they're trying to cover some of their headache with those costs.
Cool.
So that's one option. We can go with Addison, pony up to $15,000 and move ahead.
Mayor, please.
Man, honestly, look at all these suggestions. Option 4 with the township, it's right in our backyard.
Yep.
8 times a year, costs us nothing. We do the green fair. Maybe we can have a second green fair ourselves and do 2 in between these dates. So we have 10 times a year that people can do this instead of, because before, we used to get some money for this, but now, this is the same thing that happened with paper bales. Many years ago, baling your cardboard was making big money. Everybody invested in balers. All of a sudden, price of a bale got cut by 70%. It was useless. I don't know, I kind of like that. You guys want to hear the rest of the presentation?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Can we,
All right. Yes?
Alderman Messina,
can I make a motion to move forward with option 4?
if you so desire.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to move forward with option 4.
Second.
Questions? Alderman Roy Wesley.
Does this mean we're not going through the presentation then? There's no
It's in
sense
your
to it
packet.
if there's a motion. Well,
You heard him, it's in the
That-
packet. Just remember. I'm just telling you what he said.
well then let's go for a vote then.
Mr. Murmas.
The one thing I would like to add is obviously with option 4, we would increase our promotional efforts of this event or ongoing event for the residents. We would really highlight that. Additionally, okay, we have our Green Fair, obviously, perhaps do another special event like Matt said, so maybe 10 times a year. And then in addition to that, we are starting to have conversations with different garbage companies for our contract that's expiring, and that could be an added possibility benefit for the residents with our new contract. So I just want to add that.
For the, if we could, just before we continue, for the benefit of the residents, because this is a big thing, get a lot of phone calls, if you could just,
Just
Reader's
skim.
Digest
Okay.
version of what we're
Yeah.
passing when he's done.
You want me just to explain what, all of them, or what?
No,
we're-
no, no, just the one that
just the one-
we've
okay.
chose.
Okay, so
Number
option
so that-
4, Addison Township, and this is, they've been doing this for quite a while, but at least the last 2 years that I've been here, they've been doing this one. It's, they have 8 pickups a year, drop-offs at their location over on Potter. And you can bring in anything with a plug, is basically what the rule of thumb is. Anything with a plug is considered electronics, and you can bring them in, and they don't charge anything for TVs or CRTs. And their drop-offs are normally, I believe, 9 till noon on Saturday mornings. So that'll be what the is, and it's currently on our website as a recycling option, but we'll make sure that it can be highlighted a little bit more moving forward.
Alderman Catalano.
There's, sometimes the residents don't understand because there's, especially in, my neighborhood, I see, a lot of TVs out on the curb. Now, when that happens, I mean, they just sit there for weeks on end. Normally, sometimes I knock on the door and tell them that nobody's going to pick them up. Can we have kind of a system, like maybe a sticker that we can stick on the door and tell them where these recyclables are supposed to go instead of, go ahead.
Typically, the garbage company should be putting stickers for items that aren't allowed. I've seen instances where they do it. They may forget sometimes, so I can call our rep and remind them, make sure we put them out there, but they do already have that sticker program. I've seen them on items before.
Alderman Peter Jacob.
Question, I did see some of them wanted to charge extra for TVs. Is there something special for TVs that they'd want to charge, just out of curiosity?
Mr. York.
Yes, it's basically the CRT TVs, the ones with tubes. There's toxic fumes inside the CRT, which makes them work. In order for them to be able to recycle the components that are inside there, they have to evacuate that toxic gas that's in there. So that's what costs us the money. So, I mean, yeah, you could smash it and run away and hope to not die, but that's one way of going about it, or you can, send it to a special place where they evacuate that gas for them. So it costs the companies extra money to do that. So that's why they charge us, and that's why they would do an extra charge for those TVs. If we were doing it with an in-house one, or like we would do for the Green Fair when we bring a company in, we would either pay a large set amount, or we would pay a smaller set amount, and then say for every TV, maybe it's an extra $20 or something like that.
Alderman Sismarski.
Jeff, do you think there's something we can put in the city book, city flyer with a pull-out in there of all the dates or 8 times a year? I know we got 2 options for green ones, but something with a schedule on it so you don't have to keep calling and asking.
Mr. Murmas.
Yeah, we'll do an expanded marketing campaign, like I'd mentioned. For example, with, water rates, we're gonna do a special brochure in the utility bill, nice color, trifold. We've done things like that before, done inserts in the newsletter, so we'll ramp up our efforts now that we know that the council's endorsing this program and this is the option that we have. So, yes.
Right, thanks.
Alderman Messina.
Yeah, so just in summary, guys, all the other options cost us something. For the most part, I think one of the options with the state had an RFI, which I had a question on, but is kind of irrelevant why we would go for an RFI for information if that's gonna cost us money. I'm assuming if we're going up for an RFI. This doesn't cost us much. This is every month, once a month, every month. Agree with the advertising, but I would ask that in the spirit of consolidation vendor, as we've been talking about, that this is one of our pilot projects. Because we're doing a lot of marketing, right? So I would ask that this is we use this as kind of our pilot to see what we can get for pricing. Talking about amping up our marketing efforts. So I'd ask that you guys not automatically go to our normal, let's open it up to more vendors, including our online friends, and let's see what we can do to save the residents money. I'd rather get them more literature at a good cost than just status quo.
Okay, no further questions. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Next, items to be considered at future meetings. Truck purchase, utility division on February 11th. Construction contracts, Forest View, February or March. Streetlight policy in March. Lincoln Court streetlights in March. Tree planting contract in March. Murray Drive request for proposal in April, and South Treatment Plant feasibility study to be determined. Is there anything anybody? Mayor, please.
Sorry, I should have brought it up under public health and safety regarding the dumping, the hazardous waste, the paint and stuff. I know are we still continuing to look at a grant for that?
Good.
Question about the EPA grant for recycling? Yeah, we had applied for that once, and what the EPA had told us is if funds become available, they would contact the agencies where they would do it. We even put it in as a joint, that we would pull in people from Addison, Elk Grove, Itasca, Bensonville, and we've never received anything back at that. Maybe that's something we can bring back to Clean Air again to apply again, but it was done in the last year and a half, asking to host one of those events.
Yeah, maybe Chief, or Jeff, or Matt, when I was driving on Front Street, looks like a company opened up that recycles paint or has green paint. Kelly, can you expand on that if you would?
So actually what I'm working on now is an insert for the newsletter where we're providing a recycling guide for the residents. And we're highlighting the businesses, the local businesses that provide recycling or reusing products. And Earth Paints is a new business that's located on Front Street where they accept paint from, if you've got an inch left in your can, you can take it to them and they'll reuse it. So they've got some mixture types that they use where they take the different colors to make the more popular colors, and then they sell those reused paints at a cheaper price than you could get a new paint. So that's actually one of the things that we are going to be incorporating into the newsletter that's going to be coming out here soon.
Excellent, thank you. Any other questions? There being no further questions, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.